to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida.
What was that? Where are we right now?
What is going on?
Grody.
Brand new Florida Man on Florida Man coming at you.
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up,
November
guys?
2019.
Bro, y'all remember First American burns?
Yeah.
I do remember those.
And I feel like I would get those in middle school.
I know.
From like teachers.
Whenever you get bullied.
Yeah. And the teacher would be like, you missed 5 on your math.
And then
you get 5 First American
You
burns.
twist your arm.
Yeah. And I was like, that seems a bit excessive.
He came out of the gate hot with that.
I know.
It's like he was talking about that earlier.
Not at all.
It's been a good week. I feel like we had a good month of October with all the spooky stories.
It was very
but that's
spooky.
behind us. No more spooky.
That's sad.
Yeah, no more spooky for now. Just back to the crazy stuff. Speaking of which, some headlines. Cameron's got that headline
I'm
look
ready.
about him.
He's been so eager
Hungry
today,
for it.
too,
Yeah.
with this headline.
He was
Gross.
licking his lips.
Let's
Ew,
do it.
Stop it.
All right. Florida man arrested for smuggling dinosaur bones out of Mongolia.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, pardon?
Yes.
He's a Florida man. Mongolia, the country.
Smuggled dinosaur bones out.
Okay.
How?
All right. So Eric Prokopi
Okay.
is 38 years old. He's a commercial paleontologist from Gainesville, Florida.
Hold
Okay.
on.
Who
What's
has
the alternative to a commercial?
A private paleontologist.
Recreational?
Yeah, you do it for
like
fun.
for like a museum, right? Yeah,
Okay.
as a hobby.
And not an industrial paleontologist.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sim City,
So
y'all.
he's from Gainesville. He has been described as a one-man
gosh.
black market in prehistoric fossils.
What?
Okay.
So he's done it more than once, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't get that on your first run.
No.
You don't come back from Mongolia and someone label you, this guy's a one-man black market.
Yeah.
You got to do it
So-
multiple times.
Eric was recently arrested for smuggling an entire Tyrannosaurus
Okay.
Bataar skeleton out of Mongolia.
Oh,
one
my
trip? Is this a
God.
one-tank trip?
That's what I'm interested to know. Okay.
But how do you
So,
even carry the bones?
this
by
is
yourself?
How would you do it, Wayne? Let's just say you got to get a T-Rex skeleton to
Yeah.
the States undetected. How you do it?
I would. Okay, first you just you take the bones out of the dirt.
Good.
Okay.
Good start.
Tie some rope around them.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Then I put
Ooh.
him in my suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
All the clothes on top of it.
Okay. T-Rex.
Yeah,
we're
you just
talking.
hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually not a T-Rex.
Okay.
It is like a smaller cousin to the T-Rex.
Okay, but
This
still,
is an smaller Asian cousin.
we're not talking Jurassic Park 2.
Yes.
The
No.
little one.
It's a Tyrannosaurus Bataar skeleton.
Which is why I said put it in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Batar.
Thank you, Cameron.
I didn't hear Batar.
Okay.
I heard guitar.
Okay.
A
So-
Tyrannosaurus guitar.
taking dinosaur bones out of the ground in Mongolia is completely illegal if it is for personal gain. So meaning that the government could do it and put it in like a museum, but
Okay.
commercial paleontologists,
Yeah.
it's illegal for them to do it for personal gain.
Okay.
Okay.
So the skeleton became an international custody battle because Eric sold it at auction for $1.05 million.
Come
Bro,
on.
you don't fit that a Batar in your suitcase.
You
I'm
know,
just saying.
I have huge suitcases. You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Are
has a
those
lot.
pelican ones? You're right. Those
You're right, they're
pelican
big.
cases? Yeah, they are big.
So the skeleton was seized by the U.S. government,
Okay.
but Mongolia was
Uh-oh.
saying, okay, it should be returned back to them
Yes.
because it was found in their land.
And the
Absolutely.
U.S.
Belongs
is
to
like,
them.
well, we'll keep it.
Well, not necessarily. So the U.S. attorney that filed the charges against Eric
Uh-huh.
says that the dinosaur skeleton is just the tip of the iceberg
Oh
in
my gosh.
uncovering this giant black market for dinosaur
What?
bones and fossils, all taken and sold by Eric.
Wait, what?
Yes.
This guy is a one-man black market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some would describe him as that.
Some
Yeah,
a wise one.
So this seizure and charges all started when Mongolia claimed that the skeleton, which is 70 million years old, was taken out of the Gobi Desert.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, a Mongolian citizen had evidence, like a photograph of him digging up these bones and taking them. And
did he Instagram it?
I guess so.
And location?
Put it on his story.
At the Gobi.
He's like, guys, look what I found.
So the charge could lead Eric or land him up to 35 years in prison.
Oh, this is serious.
For taking dinosaur bones?
Yep. So here's the thing.
Okay.
But they're 70 million years old. That's probably
Exactly.
before Mongolia was even a
think
country.
He deserves 70 million years in jail.
Whoa, one for every year? That's
so-
excessive, Cam Daddy.
This dinosaur skeleton was not the only skeleton that he's ever stolen.
Goodness.
Okay.
There's been at least 4 other full dinosaur skeletons
How is he doing
that
this?
Eric has smuggled out of Mongolia and China.
How is he finding full dinosaurs? Because from my understanding,
Yes.
and I'm an amateur dinosaur
Recreational.
Yeah.
recreational dinosaur bone finder,
Hobbyist.
hobbyist. You only find pieces of the dinosaurs. This
Yeah.
guy's finding full dinosaurs, fully intact.
I think it's a bonologist. You're
a
looking for.
bonologist.
You're
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, right. When I was single and I would go on dates, I would say I'm a bonologist.
And that was the end of the date.
That was
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it was the beginning of a good date.
yeah.
So some of these dinosaurs that Eric has dug up and smuggled, I'm going to try to read this. It's going to be bad.
He's going to act like he doesn't know just to make us feel better.
Yeah.
You know he knows.
Yeah.
A Saurolophus angustirostris.
Nailed it.
So it's a duck-billed herbivore dinosaur that lived 68 million years ago.
Okay.
It was 40 feet long,
Okay,
like the
Wayne.
size of a modern bus, and Eric smuggled it out of Mongolia and sold it for $75,000.
Or the size of a modern suitcase.
You're right. If you fold it up.
Right.
Because bones can stack on bones.
Yeah, you
He's
gotta
not
do-
assembling it and then shipping.
The Marie Kondo version of folding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Tiger Mom?
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, and I'm being serious now. Like, so how does one human being carry a dinosaur bone? Because they're massive.
I mean,
Good
it has
idea.
to be like some kind of organization. Like he has to have some kind of
he's
help.
got a team, and he's getting the fall. He's
Either that
the
or
fall guy.
It'd have to take him years, I would think, to be
You
able
think
to,
it's
or
one by
months
you think it's
to
one
do
by
this.
one.
To
Like
dig
this is
up-
my grandma, and then you have like bones that look like your grandma, and then you bring those over.
And you leave those in the desert.
Yeah.
So
and
you're saying there's random old American ladies buried in China.
I'm saying that he would always take bones that could be shaped into a grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so when he went through customs, he's like, "This is old grandma.
Right.
This is my grandma."
Right.
And they go, "That looks pretty old." And you go, "She's pretty old."
Yeah.
And then you would take it, and then you go to the U.S. Okay, and then you go back to Mongolia, and then you would take the bones from the big old duck-billed thing,
Yeah,
Right.
the
Shape 'em-
40-foot long.
shape them into
Another grandma. Okay.
Be like, "This was grandpa."
Yeah.
Where'd you just hear
I
last
see what
week?
you're saying. I see what you're saying. I still don't understand because I feel like it would be easier to dig the bones up and just sell them from China. Like, why bring them back to the U.S.? Like, why not just sell them from over there?
I don't know. I guess there's a bigger market in the U.S. I don't really know the
Have you
answer
tried
to
to
that.
do anything in China? You can't.
That's true. That is true.
Another dinosaur that he took is called a Microraptor, which
Okay.
actually sounds super cool. It's a small flying dinosaur that lived in China 65 million years ago. So when he brought it back, he claimed on his shipping documents that it was a sample of craft rock valued at $100, and he just brought. So it's that kind of smuggling where he's like falsifying documents and basically. So he's probably still shipping like large cargo, but he's just lying about what's in it.
And I think, I mean, and to his like basically defense, like he's really clever because most people aren't going to assume that it's dinosaur bones in there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're going to be like, oh, well, sure, whatever. Like
To your point earlier, how crappy are the archaeologists in Mongolia? Why is he able to find all these?
That is true.
Or why do they not know that he is digging them up before he can dig them up? I mean, doesn't it take like forever? I've seen movies.
Yeah.
And they have these little brushes.
Well,
that
you're
they're
talking
like,
to a bonologist here. Don't insult him.
Let's ask the bonologist.
Yeah. So they have these little brushes.
Yeah.
They dust the bones off.
Yeah.
And then they dig the rest of it out.
How long does it take?
Approximately. I for one bone usually takes me about 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, which you got to expect a 40-foot dinosaur. It's going to take you at least a week.
It will take a while.
So it probably took them a year to at least get this.
The 40-footer.
Yeah, all these dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The Microraptor, though, that sounds like it could fit in the luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that
so.
sounds more like Wayne.
Right.
Yeah. Microraptor.
Right.
God bless. That's what his gold chain says.
Yeah. Microraptor.
I thought it said micro rapper this whole
Yeah, I
time.
thought like a little rapper.
Yeah, amen.
But, you know.
Go
God
on.
bless him. So I did all this. I did this
It's
whole
a good
headline.
story.
And once I got to the end of the story, I realized this happened a few years ago.
Okay.
Like 2017, probably.
So I looked it up, and this whole case was called United States First Tyrannosaurus Bataar Skeleton. That was the official name of it.
Good Lord.
Eric was found guilty.
Okay.
He basically ended up with a plea bargain, so he had to give up claim to all his skeletons and give them back. Mongolia did end up getting their skeletons back. The U.S. had some that they ended up putting on display too.
Don't doubt that.
Here's the weird thing. So other people were affected by this case because they basically came up with new laws about bringing in other skeletons, dinosaur artifacts, and things like that. In 2015, Nicolas Cage
Don't even.
returned a Tyrannosaurus Bataar skull he had purchased in 2007 at an auction
From him?
that previously sold fossils smuggled by Eric Procopi. Yeah.
What?
So he
you
gave
would
it
have
up.
asked me who was connected to this story. I wouldn't have said Nicolas Cage.
Well, the weird thing is, Nicolas Cage only got the skull because he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio.
What
the crap?
Yeah.
I have
So-
no interest in bones or boneology.
Right.
Last year, a book called The Dinosaur Artist, Obsession, Betrayal, and the Quest for the
Ooh.
Ultimate Trophy was put out. And I guess it's about Eric Procopi and this whole ordeal
I'll
of
listen to the
smuggling
audio
dinosaur
book.
bones.
I'll listen and review the audiobook.
That actually sounds great. I think in my head, like when you first start telling the story about Florida man goes and excavates dinosaur bones, I just imagine some random like Florida man putting it like in his garage and
Yeah,
like, you know, it's just some Bobo operation. But it seems like this guy's got a full team of like
Well,
I don't know. But
like
I mean,
special
yeah, something,
operations
but yeah.
almost.
like the last guy, he had him in his storage thing.
Yeah,
He
because
had the dino eggs, and he went to the dentist place.
yeah.
right, but how would you even reach out? Like, here's the thing: you're doing an auction with real dinosaur bones.
Yep.
You've got black market connections because you've got people like Leo showing up.
I don't
and
think
Nick Cage.
most people assume.
Well, he had connections with auction houses.
Yeah, I don't think Sotheby's is going. Is this a black market dino bone? Right?
I guess
Is that the
so.
first?
The whole thing's a bit trippy, but
Yeah,
So
for
he's
sure.
he's not in jail.
He spent like 3 months in jail.
I don't want
Worth
to
it.
put. I don't want to put him in the shame corner.
No?
Now, after weeks of work, after weeks of digging up dino bones,
Maybe
Yeah.
put Nicolas Cage in there. Well, he returned it.
he would.
I think we go another week with no shame corner.
Okay.
Empty shame corner.
Empty shame corner. This guy deserves to be praised, if anything, for finding the dinosaur bones
Absolutely. And bringing them to Mongolia's attention.
and bringing them to the rightful home, the United States.
He traveled the globe to bring it to Mongolians' attention, but
Right.
he did it.
Amen.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, so I got a letter today.
Okay.
Right before I came over, postman waved me down. He's like, got this one hot and ready for your
Yeah.
show.
He almost missed you.
Yeah. And he said it has 2 stamps on it. So
Nice.
Very important.
next day, I opened it up. It said, "Hey, fellas, hope you read this on your show.
Step one.
What is something, possibly from your teenage years, that you're surprised you got away with?"
Huh.
So much.
I think I got a story.
So much.
Like a top secret story.
Yeah, mine was middle school. Happened
Okay.
to a semi-celebrity. You want me to go first?
I'm interested.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So I never go first. No,
Okay.
I'm nervous. So middle school, public middle school, backed up to a neighborhood.
Okay.
So PE time, all the kids would rush to the back of the field where the neighborhood was.
Right.
Big houses. And basically, one of the houses was the famous Hall of Famer baseball player.
Okay.
Derek Jeter?
Possibly.
Okay.
someone along those lines, but like 30 years before.
Right.
Okay.
And he had the reputation for, if you throw rocks at his house, he'll come outside
What?
angry in a robe, like
So
only a
this has happened
lunatic
before.
only a lunatic would.
Right.
Yeah.
So we start. I mean, there are loose rocks there. Not me. They start tossing rocks, and sure enough, 8 to 10 minutes later,
Jeez.
here he comes, and he's bumbling out. He's got slippers on, socks, a robe, boxers on. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Right.
And
Sounds super cute.
yeah, he was, and he's all like, "Brr, brr, brr, brr."
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
And so since I played soccer, y'all know this.
Uh-huh.
I took the soccer ball, and naturally, to protect the neighborhood, they built like a 30-foot Trump-sized tower fence,
Okay.
and I just booted that soccer ball over the fence
Right. Towards him.
towards him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Out of rage.
you do it for laughs,
Right.
and it didn't make it to him so much as bounced off his pergola,
Yeah.
Pergola.
bounced off that, sharp angled, hit his roof, up. He goes to catch it, which I think would have turned everybody into a fan of his
If he had caught it.
if he had caught it. Missed it. It bounces, shoots up, hits a drink out of his hand.
Oh,
Bro, I've never seen a guy turn so red. And this guy wasn't Caucasian, but he turned red instantly.
Yeah.
And like blitzed the
Jeez.
the fence. But he's 10 foot below us.
Right.
He's got a 10-foot retaining wall and then a 30-foot fence.
Right.
So like everybody is just still standing there on the fence looking at him like, this guy's like 6 foot. How's he going to clear a 10-foot wall?
He's just raging.
And just raging. And I never got in trouble. I mean, we lost a soccer ball that day. Rest in peace.
Sandlot style.
Yeah.
But my thing is,
It was worth
there's nothing funnier for a teenager than an adult being angry.
Yeah. And that's why I think I'm scared of teenagers this day.
Right. And
Yeah.
also why you're afraid of adults.
Bingo.
They'll do anything for the laughs.
Yeah, they don't care. That nothing to lose.
It's fascinating the things that you would do as a teenager, not thinking about the consequences.
No.
He's an angry, retired baseball player.
Hall of Famer.
If he got a hold of you, he,
Oh, he would have separated my larynx from my throat.
neck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, whenever I was actually at the private school that Josh and I went to, we were there maybe half a semester, and we got bored as we did as private school kids.
Mhm.
And we were like in homeroom, and the teacher hadn't showed up yet. And so our friend Lance was there, and our friend Chris was there, and they said,
name
"Watch the
names.
door. We're gonna fight real fast." And they were happy.
Friendly fight.
Yeah, they were happy. It wasn't like a violent thing.
Neck down.
Yeah,
Chin down.
we set rules to where it was like you couldn't hit like the neck and above,
Yeah.
and you couldn't hit on the belt line below.
Crotchal.
Yeah, so just like that, like a center
Street
area,
rules.
right? Street rules.
Street
And
rules.
So they legit started fighting in homeroom, and everybody was cheering them on.
Yeah.
And then the teacher came, and the whole class got quiet. No one got in trouble, and I think getting
Except
away
for two guys.
Right, yeah.
Out of breath.
And I think just like us getting away with that first fight, it just kind of like fueled something in us. And so after that class, we kind of met outside and we were like, hey, we should start a fight club.
Absolutely.
And it was fascinating because the amount of private school children wearing polo shirts that were like, I would like to get beat up in between classes.
I would like to fight.
Yeah, it was everybody signed up for it, and it was amazing. And
Guilty.
so we start making brackets,
Yep.
and this nerdy kid goes and tells on us, and we got these 8x11 sheets of brackets made.
Nerdy
And-
kid who didn't participate.
Right,
Of
we find out
course.
the dean's coming to class, so we fold up the paper and we hide it behind the clock on the wall.
Oh, clever.
And he comes in and he's like, so we hear there's a fight club going on. You guys are making brackets. And we're like, what? Us? Like,
Yeah, that's when we act like he's a lunatic.
yeah, we're like, we would never do that at this private Christian school.
Everybody has like bruises.
Yeah. And it went on for like weeks and weeks. And it just to the point where like we would hide the bruises on our bodies from just beating
Long
the
sleeves.
crap out of each
my
other.
gosh.
And the day we got caught, we were actually in the locker room in between classes. The bell rung. Everybody ran there to watch Travis and this upperclassman fight. And basically during that fight, someone shoved the other one into the shower. The showers turn on.
Oh, it was insane.
There's 30 or 40 kids in this boys' locker room, girls and guys included.
Yeah.
And the coach comes in and screams out like, "What's going on in here? Some kind of fight club?" And I just remember, Chris turning around and pushing the coach and going, "Yeah!"
And then everybody going, "Yeah!"
And that was like the moment where like
you could have had a camera. It should have been a movie.
You take a step back and you realize like these white children have lost their mind.
Yeah.
Like these upper middle class kids have got a taste of violence for the first time. And so yeah, we got away with it in the sense that no one got expelled because it was the whole freaking class.
Yep.
It was just like, hey, stop doing this fight club.
They couldn't afford to get rid of all of you.
Yeah,
they really couldn't.
Chapel was extra long that week.
Yeah,
That was my story.
Remember the message.
Josh had to close his eyes and repeat some sentences.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I've got a story.
Okay.
Can't wait.
So when I was in high school,
Yeah.
the vice principal for my school asked, he lived in our neighborhood. So
Fancy.
him and his wife were going to take vacation for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So they asked me, hey, handsome young man,
Right.
great student,
Do you want to come with us?
outstanding. They asked me to watch their house,
Okay.
which included taking care of their pool and taking care of their cat.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
naturally,
you're really not watching their house.
well, I'm taking care of it.
Yeah.
And they were going to pay me. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds easy.
How old are you at this time?
Probably 16,
Okay, semi-responsible.
maybe 15.
Right.
Well, I don't know. So
Guess we'll see.
I said, yeah, that's great. So he says, okay, yeah, we're going to leave Thursday next week.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
So they tell me where the key is. That next week comes around. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday might have happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap. I think I'm supposed to be watching their pool and their cat.
How busy is this 16-year-old that he can't remember his vice principal's
I was
one
out in the
task?
orange groves, man, making a living.
Yeah. He was.
So I'm like, oh crap. I gotta go see if the cat's alive first.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
This comes right after the week of the goldfish story. This is not a good look for me.
People
Oh,
are like,
goodness.
Cameron hates animals.
So
Jeez.
I go over to the house. Cat's fine. He had like one of those big water bowl feeder things
well,
and
phew.
like
Automatic
food.
feeders.
He could live on water. Thank goodness.
He was good. So I walk outside just to check on the pool, make sure it's still there.
Right.
Maybe take some leaves out.
It didn't evaporate.
I swear to you, it was just green, like
oh my
what?
gosh.
dark green. How I don't know how that's possible. Like if you forget to look at your pool for 4 days, I don't think it normally turns green.
No, it does in Florida. Yeah, it's weird how
if you're
quickly
not
our pools-
chlorinating that thing.
Yeah.
So it didn't have a cage, and so
It's called
like one
screen?
of the screen cages.
So there's no pool cage?
No, that's what it's called, a pool cage. To keep it inside.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess so.
So it was just green. So I'm freaking out. Like, what do I even do with this? I'm not a chemist.
Right.
Poolologist, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So I clean it. I take the brush. I do all the cleaning stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And come back next day, still bright green.
Oh,
So I'm like, something's got to happen.
Right.
So I take like a sample, end up going to the pool store. They're like,
no.
yeah, I take a whole sample.
He's
They're like,
so
this is going to
freaking
be like
responsible.
$120
Oh
in chemicals.
my gosh.
So they're like, you got to shock it, and then you got
Oh
to
my
do all these
gosh.
tabs. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening?
Chlorine tabs.
So I think at this point, the guy had an account. So I'm like,
oh my
just
gosh.
charge it.
No.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like,
This is unreal.
just charge it. It'll be fine. And so
Oh
I go
my
back 4 or
follow
5
the
days later.
instructions.
Pool looks great. And like literally the day before they came back, it started looking like a normal pool.
Can I say what my assumption is?
Yes.
Okay.
He comes back and he goes, Cam, I don't know how you did it. It was green before we left. It was a joke when I told you to make the pool,
That would
take
be
care of the
amazing,
pool.
actually. Howie Dorough was born August 22nd, 1973 in Orlando, Florida.
Oh,
Hold
started
on.
as a Florida man.
Started as a Florida
That's
man.
I'm
rare.
an 83.
Yeah.
I'm approximately 36. This man is 46.
Yep. His mother is named Paula. His father's name is Hoke.
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 Yeah, that's textbook.
Yeah.
Florida name.
Florida name.
He's got 5 siblings, and when it comes to his family, like they're just really, really supportive people, which I think is
good.
A big difference from like our other stories sometimes, where it's like, oh, so and so was left alone all the time, and he got in trouble and all this different stuff. But no, Howie's family was amazing. At a very young age, he had this passion for entertaining people. He often says that his earliest memory was performing in front of his family. So, which honestly, that's not a bad first memory to have. I feel like,
no. And I think Hoke always said, "I don't blow smoke when it comes to my folk."
He does. His dad did always say that.
I knew I recognized
his dad
the
did
name.
say that, and so so entertaining people. That's like this kid's like entire life. It's all he remembers.
Yeah.
My first memory was like busting my tooth on a slide at the park.
Oh, you didn't tell that story yet.
I know. Maybe one day. But it's kind of funny because his parents say that they realized that he wanted to be an entertainer when he was just 3 years old. Every time Howie would visit his grandparents, he would run straight into their bedroom and start jumping on the bed and singing old songs from the 50s.
That's probably, the 50s, man.
50s, man.
What a time to be alive.
And so basically his grandparents' bedroom was kind of like his stage. Like that's where the kid would go.
Okay.
He would start singing songs and like old doo-wop songs. And his grandparents were so entertained by this that they were actually the ones who bought him his first guitar at 3 years old.
Okay.
Probably a Raptor.
Right. So at 3, he's got this reoccurring gig at his grandparents' house. At the age of 6, Howie starts singing in the choir at his church on a regular basis, which is kind of young, 6 years old. He got that gig because his older sister, was in the choir, and she basically said to the director, "My little brother sings." And he's like, "Yeah, but he's 6 years old." Yeah. And then he heard him sing and was like, "Holy crap, kid. Like you're in the choir. Like you're great.
You made it."
Okay. That's a Walmart video you showed me.
Yeah.
That's it.
The yodeling guy.
Right. So when it came time for the church to basically put on bigger productions, they start choosing Howie for some of those roles. He's already in the choir. And so he's doing all these productions at the church, and he eventually lands a show outside of the church in the production of The Wizard of Oz at the community theater.
Nice.
He couldn't get in to get your gun.
He couldn't.
No fern either.
But he did so well in this one that basically, even though he wasn't the lead actor, he was still the star of the show.
Was he a munchkin?
Well, no, but you know how like whenever there's like a small kid, I guess like on stage doing really well, like I don't know, like certain actors can kind of draw your attention away from.
No, they either do real well or they trip and fall, and you're like, oh.
The older people I've been training for years for this part.
Right, and here comes a 7-year-old,
take me serious,
taking all the glory. But because of like all his like kind of local fame that he was getting, his parents decide that they're going to hire a vocal coach for Howie.
Okay, a vocalist.
A vocalist for Howie.
Yep, I'm familiar.
He was around 7 years old at this point, and this was like the first official training that he ever received. But because of this, he starts landing lead roles in The Sound of Music, Showboat, and Camelot in Orlando. So there was a children's theater in Orlando where they would do these big productions, and so now Howie's like the star of all these like children's theatrical plays.
Impressive.
Yeah.
He was gaining so much notoriety that his parents realized like this could be like a career. This kid's got a gift. And so, like I said earlier, they're all very supportive in the sense that basically everybody in this family is going like, Howie's the one who's going to make it out of all of us.
That
like,
sucks.
We've got
he has siblings though.
His siblings are kind of trying. He was the youngest, so his older siblings are like, "Hey, our brother's like a superstar. He's amazing."
I guess so. You got to hitch your trailer to a wagon, amen.
Right. And so he ends up getting enrolled in a performance art academy where he starts branching out from like not just singing. Now he's doing courses in classical ballet and tap dancing and studying jazz.
Well, he's invested.
Cam, there's a possibility this is a main actor that we have no idea. I mean, we know of, but not under this name.
We'll see.
Might change the name.
It was also around this time that he randomly decides to sign up for Little League Baseball.
Oh my God. Okay. That makes sense because when I was in baseball, I always thought, I wish I had taken ballet.
What's actually funny about this is his parents' belief system was he's so naturally good at all of these things, it must also apply to sports as well.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm the picture of that.
So he fails miserably at baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, he quit halfway through the season. He wasn't any good at all.
Yeah. You're just spinning around in the outfield.
You're right, just dancing, chasing butterflies. But it cemented like kind of this for himself and for his family that this kid's his career is show business, like nothing else.
Nice.
So he actually starts traveling with an all boys ballet squad. And in
You
doing
don't see those
so-
very often anymore.
No, they're hard to find. They're hard to track down.
He's
Yeah.
been looking too.
I have.
Not anymore.
I Google. You should see my Google searches.
All boys ballet. That's what Josh looks for.
Does anybody know where I can find the all boys ballet?
So because he's traveling around, he gets noticed by a production company who's looking for a kid around his age to star in a show called Macho and Camacho.
Okay.
Not watching that.
No.
Right. So Howie lands the role. And
Of
this
which
is
one?
I don't know. I think he's macho. Okay. Yeah. They're looking for a 7-year-old ballet dancer.
Yes,
to be called
naturally.
macho.
Okay.
No. So he basically, when he lands the role in this TV show, even though it's like a Florida-based production, local show, it was the breaking point for his career. Things started really taking off. So one night after an airing of the show, an entertainment agency basically calls up and says that they want to assign Howie a manager and an agent. Like they want to basically sign him, to this contract.
He's being headhunted.
Right.
Nice.
And so stuff really starts getting real. And so now that there's money involved in contract, his parents are going, is this really what we want for our kid?
Oh, now
Like,
they're
well, I think it gets really serious at this point where they're
guess
saying
so.
like, hey, now there's money on the line
It's
and
all fun and
your
games
kid's signing
first.
on the dotted line
and
now,
they're
right?
like- I mean, he took Camacho
Yeah.
and he nailed it.
Right.
But is it?
So at this time, Howie, he's still super young, still too young to make these decisions. But after deliberating, his family kind of realizes, like, look, this is what he's always done. This is his calling. So they agreed to let him sign to the agency. And so immediately after, he lands a role in the movie Parenthood starring Steve Martin.
Oh, wow.
Which,
Okay.
again, he goes from local theater to like basically movie star.
I think I can picture the poster for this.
That same year, he stars
Just
in
so
a
you
movie
don't know.
called A Cop and a Half starring Burt Reynolds.
Okay. Nope.
Never saw that one.
And so his movie career is starting to take off. He also signs a deal with Nickelodeon
Oh.
to star in a show called Welcome Freshman.
Nope.
And so
Doesn't
he's
ring
getting
a
a
bell.
little older. He's starting to get kind of these like teenage roles and stuff. He's doing commercials for Disney.
Wow.
Oh.
So like his career is really picking up. He's making some money. And so almost overnight,
Okay, who's it gonna be?
he's
He's gonna lay it on
He's like a
us.
local star.
Okay.
And now he's like,
Go on.
a pretty big movie star. And so this worked really well for him. But the thing is like his life was changing. His career's doing really well. But as he's getting older, he's finding it hard for himself to like settle in school settings.
Yep.
Because he's the famous
Amen.
kid.
Yeah.
Amen. It's tough, baby.
It's right. So in middle school, he's doing well. He's popular. But once he gets to high school, basically all the kids are like, oh, that's the kid from Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Tail out the door.
Right. So they're not, no, it's no longer like a respect thing. They're making fun of him for being famous.
Oh,
Well, they're just jealous.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
they're
exactly what
definitely
it is.
just jealous.
So to make matters worse, basically Howie confides in this teacher that he's being bullied in school and he has nowhere else to turn to.
Before bullying was cool.
Right. And his teacher basically just says, look, they're only upset with you because of your career and like and your stardom. They want to be like you. And so even though he was successful, he didn't have those things that other kids like thrive off of, like close friendships and like normal weekend hangouts. And so this teacher says, I've got this wild idea. Like, how about they've only seen you from afar on the screen. How about at the next big basketball game at homecoming, you sing the Star Spangled Banner?
I don't
Because
that's gonna.
I know that the teacher says
Is that the best way to go about this?
you do it in
No.
person, they'll see how good you are. They're gonna love you.
I thought he was gonna say do Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Right. So the night of the big basketball game comes up, and Howie's all set to do the national anthem,
Okay.
and the music starts, and his mind goes completely blank.
Oh, no.
And so he's
Oof.
standing there while the Star Spangled Banner is playing behind him. He doesn't know the words, and it's one of those situations where he's staring at the crowd, and the crowd feels bad, so they start singing for him.
no.
oh, okay.
Oh.
And so basically, like that's humiliating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Especially for Macho.
Yeah, for a kid
Amen.
who's already being bullied.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, this is a horrific moment, but for Howie, it was like the pivotal moment in his life because for the longest time, he wanted to have like a normal school life and a career. But after this, he was like, you know what? I'm an entertainer. I'll make friends on the set. School is just gonna be something I do
That's what I'm talking about,
mindlessly.
It's still sad, though.
It is
still
sad.
Yeah.
sad.
I feel
But
bad
it-
for him.
I think you quit school immediately.
Well,
right
he
there
kind
on the
of
spot.
embraced the separation between the two. And so he's like, school's going to be school, show business is going to be my
You
work.
guys are losers. I'm a winner.
Right. So he goes on the set back on Nickelodeon and he meets this kid named AJ. And he and AJ really hit it off. and like Best Bud style.
Not familiar.
And so they're both doing acting gigs, and so they bond over high school being so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they have this friendship, and now that he has this friendship and kind of this normal relationship, he starts excelling in high school because he's got like a relationship now. He's got someone he can like appear and he can count on. So he ends up graduating top 10 of his class in his high school.
Good job.
And he's even voted most talented in the yearbook senior year.
Well, that's kind of obvious.
That's a given, right?
Yeah, that.
Except for
I'd
that
be
national
offended
anthem.
if I didn't. Yeah, except for the national anthem.
I'm not sure what happened around 18, but he got a scholarship to go to the University of Central Florida. And during this time, he kind of takes a step back from the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Since he's done it so long.
Gotta get his degree.
He's got to focus on school and stuff. So for the next couple years, he's kind of off the radar, just studying. And things in college are going really well. He's making new friends. He's meeting girls.
Hello.
And around his junior year in college, he's hanging out in Tampa at a bar, and he runs into his old friend AJ.
What?
From Nickelodeon.
Okay.
And they get to talking and hanging out, and AJ's like, look, man, I've got a few guys that I know that I've just met, but they're also into music. They're really talented.
Okay.
And we've been talking about kind of jamming out and practicing.
Hold on.
Oh, God.
So if you want to come hang out, you should. We haven't done it yet. We'd love to have you. So Howie sees this almost as a relief because it's like
Howie.
Okay. So Howie sees it as like it's like a neighborhood band. He's like
garage band.
He's like I can still do college and live this normal life. But on the weekend, maybe we can play some shows and stuff, and I can kind of double dip. So he shows up to practice and meets the other guys, and they really hit it off.
Goodness.
And basically, a few of them have like show business backgrounds as well. And so as the practice goes on, Howie kind of realizes like I've missed this, like I miss performing, and so they start booking shows at like high schools and shopping malls. And they're doing really well, but they don't even have a band name. Like they're just like out singing and doing cover songs and stuff.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
So in the summer of 1993,
I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
They're getting popular in Orlando, and they get approached by a record label called Jive Records.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Jive Records basically says to Howie and the boys, all you need is a little help with your image and a band name. And we're going to basically sign you and send you on a European tour.
Wow. Oh, send you to Europe, see how you do first.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's a test.
So after like a lot of deliberation and arguing, the five of them decide on the name the Backstreet Boys.
Here we go.
Yeah, because
I still haven't figured it out. I knew it was a boy. I thought it was NSYNC. What? I forgot their names.
This guy.
So after playing Europe and gaining popularity, the Backstreet Boys released their debut album that goes on to sell 8.5 million copies.
I'm sure I bought one.
The first,
I wanted to
their
learn
first
so
album?
good. It was so good.
Bro, you know, I mean, y'all know that European tour because we were vetted in Europe. Florida Man on Florida Man was sent to Europe.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
To see how we would do.
And we killed over there.
And they sent us back to Florida and said, go ahead and do the podcast.
Yeah.
You got it.
Love it.
Their second album sold 14 million copies, and nearly every album that followed was multi-platinum.
Yeah.
To date, the Backstreet Boys have sold 135 million records worldwide.
God bless.
Lord.
So in the year 2000, Howie met a Warner Brothers film producer by the name of Leanne Bonello, and the two hit it off. They start dating. In 2006, he proposed, and he said, out of everything I've ever done in my life, all the stadiums I've played and all the movies I've been in, proposing to Leanne was the most nervous I've ever been. The two got married in the following year at St. James Cathedral in Orlando, the same church where he was singing in the choir as a kid.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
full
beautiful.
circle.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so to this day, the Backstreet Boys is still one of the best-selling bands of all time. And Howie Dorough says that he owes it all to the creative community in Central Florida.
That's crazy.
Amen, baby.
Yeah. So
you slow rolled us. You walked us right into that.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Bonafide Florida man, the Backstreet Boys.
Howie from Howie and Hoke.
No, and a fun fact, actually, the most successful group of Florida men besides the Backstreet Boys has been our show.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to do that. Just
Backstreet Boys and then us.
The Backstreet Boys in the 90s.
We're right up there, though.
And then now
album sales.
And good looks.
Looks-wise. I mean, that's a given.
We're men, though.
Right.
They're just boys.
Backstreet men. All right.
Squeaky voices on their end. Deep masculine voices on our end.
Yeah. What do they call us? Baritones.
Is Joey Fatone NSYNC or Backstreet?
He's an NSYNC.
He's an NSYNC.
That's who maybe I
Nick Carter.
Because he's in Florida too, isn't he? Doesn't he have like
I think he has like a restaurant,
food truck in Orlando? Or
He's
something
got
like
a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So Joey Fatone of NSYNC now owns a food truck in Orlando.
Congrats. Congrats, Joey. You're making it big, buddy.
Oh, geez.
But it's been a great week.
I think we're going to make an appearance at his food truck.
I think next
It's
Wednesday
called
night.
Fat ones.
Yeah,
like
next Wednesday
Fatones,
night.
Fat ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
very
it.
clever.
That's why you call me Fatone?
He finally gets it now.
Jeez.
Well, it's been a great week. We love you guys.
Last week.
And this entire time, Audrey has been in the house.
Yes.
What's up?
And hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was a ghost laughing.
We love you. We appreciate you. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for going to fmofm.com,
Yeah,
checking out the
leaving reviews.
blogs, leaving reviews.
Yeah.
Thank you for your donations. They help keep the show
Whoops.
going.
Yep.
And also our social media is FMOFM podcast across all of the social media networks.
Yeah.
And yeah, we love you guys. It's been a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Fatone out.